Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 presidential election has reignited discussions about his unique place in American political history. After becoming the first U.S. president since Grover Cleveland to serve non-consecutive terms, speculation has already begun about whether Trump could push the boundaries further and seek a third term in 2028. While the idea may sound improbable given the constitutional and political barriers in place, it's worth examining the factors that could influence such a scenario. The constitutional hurdle. The 22nd Amendment. The most obvious obstacle to Trump seeking another term is the U.S. Constitution itself. The 22nd Amendment, ratified in 1951, explicitly limits presidents to 2 elected terms. This provision was introduced to prevent the kind of long-term political domination seen in Franklin D. Roosevelt's 4-term presidency. Trump, having already served from 2017 to 2021 and preparing for a second term starting in 2025, would technically be barred from running again in 2028. However, Trump's political career has been defined by his willingness to challenge norms and test the limits of established rules. Could he or his allies mount a legal or legislative challenge to the 22nd Amendment? While such a move would likely face immense resistance and require a nearly impossible constitutional amendment process, it would not be out of character for Trump to attempt to bend the rules in his favor. The case for influence without the presidency. Even if Trump is constitutionally barred from running in 2028, his influence over American politics is unlikely to fade. As the leader of the MAGA movement, he could handpick a successor who would continue to advance his agenda. In this scenario, Trump could remain a kingmaker, wielding significant power behind the scenes, much like he has done during his years outside of office. His rallies, endorsements, and media presence could shape the Republican Party's direction for years to come. The age factor. If Trump were to consider running again in 2028, his age would also become a focal point. At 82 years old, he would face scrutiny similar to what Joe Biden endured during the 2024 election. Critics might question his physical and mental fitness for another term, though Trump has shown remarkable energy on the campaign trail and in office, often defying expectations tied to his age. Public and political appetite for another Trump term. The appetite for a third Trump term would depend heavily on the success of his 2024-2028 presidency. If Trump delivers on his promises and maintains high approval ratings, there may be widespread calls for him to seek another term, regardless of constitutional constraints. Conversely, if his second term is marked by controversy or policy failures, public enthusiasm for extending his influence could dwindle. Could the rules be changed? In a hypothetical scenario where Trump's presidency proves wildly popular and the Republican Party dominates Congress, could the 22nd Amendment be repealed or altered? Such a change would require a 2/3 majority in both the House and Senate and ratification by 3/4 of the states, a Herculean task. While unlikely, this pathway underscores the idea that in politics, nothing is ever truly off the table, a legacy beyond the Oval Office. Regardless of whether Trump runs again in 2028, his legacy will likely extend far beyond his time in office. His presidency has reshaped American politics, redefining populism and the Republican Party. Even if Trump doesn't return to the ballot, his movement and political ideology will likely persist, influencing future candidates and policy debates for years to come. Conclusion: a third Trump term or a lasting movement? While a third Trump term would face significant legal and logistical barriers, the very speculation around it highlights the enduring influence of Donald Trump in American politics. Whether he runs again, backs a successor, or remains a forceful figure outside the presidency, Trump's impact will continue to shape the political landscape long after his second term ends. In the end, the question may not be whether Trump himself can run in 2028, but whether his vision for America can outlive his presidency.